Sorry, I brought my baby. The single mom apologized. The CEO picked up the child and smiled. She stood trembling at the glass door, her baby's tiny hand clutching her finger. Sorry, I brought my baby, she whispered as the entire meeting room went silent. The CEO looked up from his papers, expression unreadable. Then he did something no one expected. He stood, walked over, and gently picked up the child. And in that single moment, the world shifted for both of them. Rain poured against the city's tall glass buildings as Maya adjusted the strap of her worn-out diaper bag. Her hands trembled slightly, not from the cold, but from the fear that today could end like all the others. Job after job, rejection after rejection. Ever since her husband walked out, leaving her with nothing but a few bills and a baby, survival had become her only goal. Her son, Ayan, barely a year old, squirmed in her arms, babbling softly. I know, baby, she whispered, pressing a kiss to his forehead. Just one more interview. Maybe this time, we'll be lucky. The elevator ride to the 32nd floor of Raiden Industries felt like a journey into another world. Polished marble, gold accents, and a quiet hum of power surrounded her. She caught her reflection in the mirror. Tired eyes, a faded shirt, and a tiny milk stain she'd missed. She sighed. Not exactly CEO material, she thought bitterly. At the reception, the woman behind the desk frowned. Ma'am, no children are allowed in the building. Maya's heart sank. Please, she pleaded softly. I didn't have anyone to watch him. It's just for a few minutes. Before the receptionist could respond, a deep voice echoed from behind. Let her in. Maya turned, startled. A tall man in a dark navy suit approached, his presence commanding yet calm. His sharp jawline and piercing gray eyes made her momentarily lose her words. Ethan Raiden, the CEO himself. The receptionist straightened immediately. Sir, It's fine, Ethan interrupted. Bring her to the conference room. Maya followed him, clutching Ayan closer. The silence felt heavy, broken only by the sound of her baby's soft coos. When they entered the sleek glass room, she hesitated near the door. I'm sorry, she began quietly, voice cracking. I brought my baby. Every executive around the table exchanged awkward glances. Maya wanted to disappear. But Ethan only raised an eyebrow, walked toward her, and without hesitation, reached out his hands. May I? He asked. Confused, Maya nodded. Ethan gently lifted Ayan into his arms. The baby stared at him curiously before giggling, grabbing his tie. A faint smile crossed Ethan's lips. You have quite the strong grip, little man. The room, once tense, suddenly softened. A few executives even chuckled. Ethan gestured toward a seat. Please, Ms. Khan, let's begin. Maya's shock was quickly replaced by determination. She sat down, answering every question with honesty and quiet confidence. She spoke about her experience in accounting, her ability to multitask, and how motherhood had taught her patience and efficiency. But as the interview went on, Ayan began to fuss. Maya's heart raced. She tried bouncing him gently, whispering lullabies. Then, to her utter disbelief, Ethan stood, rocked the baby himself, and continued asking her questions, completely unfazed. When the interview ended, Ethan looked at her thoughtfully. You said you were willing to work hard for stability, correct? Yes, sir, she said, voice trembling. I'll give you everything I have, he nodded. You've already proven that. Report to HR tomorrow morning, Maya blinked. You mean, I got the job? Ethan smiled slightly. You earned it. Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, Thank you, sir. You have no idea what this means to me. As she left the building, clutching her baby close, Maya felt something she hadn't felt in months. Hope. But what she didn't know was that Ethan's smile that day wasn't just kindness. It was recognition. Because once, years ago, he too had stood outside an office door, lost, desperate, and carrying the weight of a world that didn't care. And maybe, just maybe, fate was giving him a chance to change someone else's story the way he wished someone had changed his. 3 months later, Maya had become one of the most efficient junior accountants in the company. Her reports were flawless, her work ethic unmatched. Colleagues admired her quiet strength, even those who had initially judged her for being a single mother. Ethan, however, remained a mystery. Calm, focused, almost mechanical, except when he saw Ayan. Every time Maya brought her son for short visits, The CEO's stern face softened in ways that made the entire office whisper. Rumors spread quickly. Do you think the boss likes her? Maya ignored them. Her only goal was to provide for her son. But deep inside, she couldn't deny the strange warmth she felt whenever Ethan was near. One evening, as everyone left the building, Maya stayed back, finishing a report. Rain once again lashed against the windows, mirroring the night she first met him. Suddenly, the lights flickered. The power went out. She sighed, holding Ayan close. Guess we're stuck for a bit, huh? A voice replied from the doorway. Seems so. She turned. Ethan stood there, holding a flashlight. You're still here? I had to finish this report, she explained softly. Deadlines don't wait, even for moms. He smiled faintly. You remind me of someone. She tilted her head. Who? My mother, he said quietly. She raised me alone too. Worked 3 jobs. No one gave her a chance. Until one man did. That's why when you walked in that day, with your baby and your courage, I saw her in you. The silence that followed was thick with emotion. Ethan, she began, unsure what to say. He looked down at Ayan, who reached for his tie again, giggling. He likes expensive things, Ethan joked softly, making Maya laugh for the first time in days. Then his tone grew serious. You're more than your past, Maya. Don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. Her eyes glistened. You've already shown me that. You changed my life. He shook his head gently. No, you did that yourself. The storm outside grew stronger, thunder rolling through the night. For a long time, they stood by the window, silent yet connected. 2 people who had both lost something, yet found understanding in each other's brokenness. The following weeks brought change. Maya's position was upgraded. She began handling larger projects directly under Ethan's supervision. Ayan, now almost walking, had become the unofficial office mascot. But one day Ethan called her into his office. Maya, he began, his tone unusually hesitant. There's an opening in our Singapore branch. It's a big opportunity. I think you should take it. Her heart skipped. You mean leave? He nodded slowly. It's time for you to grow beyond what this place can offer. Tears filled her eyes, not from sadness, but gratitude. I'll never forget what you did for me. Ethan smiled. Just promise me one thing. Raise him to be as kind as you are. She nodded, voice trembling. I will. Months later, as Maya boarded the plane with Ayan in her arms, she looked out the window and whispered, Thank you, Ethan. Back in his office, Ethan stood at the same window, watching the departing plane disappear into the clouds. His assistant entered quietly. Sir, shall I clear her desk? Ethan smiled faintly. No, leave it. She might come back one day. And in that soft smile was a truth he never said aloud. Sometimes love isn't about holding on. It's about letting someone fly even when your heart wants to stay.